3, 2,
Do
1,
it.
go. We are live. So
What's up, internet?
XSplit decided to just be like,
You
it
had
ju-
too many GPUs, dude. It's not compatible with 4 Titans.
nothing's changed though since we did all of our tech talk. XSplit, like, for some reason, whenever it loads, it just immediately crashes and says, something has happened and Windows is looking for a solution thing. And it just says that over and over, and I have no idea. I didn't install anything. I didn't change anything. I just reinstalled it. It didn't seem to matter. So now we are.
Well, I know XSplit downloads a lot of updates, though, right? Did it maybe upload or download a bad update or something last time you opened it?
Your upload, by the way, is really messing with your camera. Just so you know.
Ah, is it really? Okay, hold on. Let me go. Let
Um,
me go.
no, I even rolled back when I did the installation right now. Before we went live here, I rolled back that way I could see if it was a versioning thing.
Yeah.
A virgin thing? Virgin?
Hey, can you resume and upload to YouTube?
No.
All right, screw it. Abort. Reload.
So there's not
All
gonna be
right.
any intro today, so I guess now we just have to like act it out, like thing flies in and
Here, just do jazz hands. Welcome to Tech Talk. This is Tech Talk. I don't know what number it is because I don't see the title. Woo!
80.
Here we go. 80. There we go.
This is gonna be the biggest clusterfuck of a stream we've ever done.
I know it's on a Saturday at a weird time. We have no topics, which honestly, I mean, it's like maybe 1 out of 3 shows has topics.
There's only like 250 people in here, which is good. This is a small, intimate setting. This is kind of like, when Metallica went and played at like a small pub.
Yep.
You know what I mean? This is small and intimate. I can acknowledge each and every one. Okay, maybe I won't go that far. But anyway, it feels weird without the intro. Normally the intro gets us going.
Just let's take a moment of silence and play it in our head. Okay, I got it.
That's weird. That was
Yeah.
really weird.
Yeah, so we got it.
So we got nothing. That's the way we like to do this. But because we had to postpone it from Thursday, we decided, well, we'll go ahead and do a Saturday show at a time that nobody knows. Like, we'll announce it like right before the show, so everyone could be driving around doing their business and then be like, oh man, the show's going live now, so we can get shit for that. And
Whoa. No, just nothing. Nothing to see there. Something popped up on my screen that was a little interesting.
Was it boobs?
Well, no, I did a search for porn in space because I wanted to talk about that, and apparently Pornhub's the one that's doing it, and they took me to Pornhub.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, let's.
I've never been to that site before, Jay. Never, ever.
What's Pornhub?
I don't know. A site. Yeah.
Okay.
All right, let's see if I can click on one that isn't just blatant pornography.
So for
Oh,
some reason, Jerry just wanted to talk about pornography in space.
we did. I mean, it's two subjects that nerds are very, very familiar with
You
and very
can't-
passionate about.
you can't
you
keep
got
them-
Star Trek, sci-fi, space, and
You know,
porn.
The problem is you can't keep the mess contained.
That's true.
It's gonna be like the episode of The Simpsons where he crashes into the ant farm and the ants are like floating all over the place.
Yeah, they do like the, what is it, like the was a space Odyssey? They do all the slow motion Stanley Kubrick effects.
Mm-hmm. That would be terrible.
I
Yeah.
wonder if it would actually be like a form of propulsion in space. Like if you're like, would you actually go shooting like across the capsule really slow? I wonder. I mean,
for every law of physics for every action, there's an opposite and equal reaction. And an object in motion will stay in motion unless acted upon by an external force.
Gotcha. So what you're saying is Ron Jeremy would be significantly faster than a eunuch.
Extremely faster.
Oh my god. Okay, anyway, so you guys have no clue what we're talking about. Recently, the giant porn site Pornhub went ahead and decided to start a crowdfunding campaign because, nobody starts crowdfunding campaigns. Like, nobody even knows what those are, right? Everybody and their brother has one. And they're trying to crowdfund the first porn shot in space. They're literally trying to raise, what is it, like, let me see, I think it was like $3.4 million. And they're nowhere close to that, just to let you guys know, because people like porn, but they don't like to pay for porn. But anyway, $3.4 million in the next 30 days so that they can launch 2 porn stars into orbit to do the nasty on film.
They're gonna have to pick 2 like smaller, petite, more like natural cup size, because some of the other ones well, by the time they get up there, their breasts might be hitting the floor because of the G forces.
Do fake breasts explode in a vacuum? I wonder.
All of a sudden, they're coming out her back.
Oh my God, this is so bad. But so what they're trying to do is they're gonna have to secure private space travel through like Virgin Galactic or
I was just
SpaceX.
gonna say that Sir Branson would love to do this.
Actually, I think he denied him.
Really?
Yeah, I think he told him to go to hell.
He wouldn't loan them his personal spaceship.
Yeah, he's probably like, hey, if I can't go, if I can't be on set. But the reason why they have to get a private space agency to put him in orbit is because currently the Russians are charging, I think it's 10 to 20 million dollars to launch one cosmonaut to the International Space Station.
You know,
So,
but
but
would you really want Russia sending you there in the private transportation space? I mean, have you ever seen the dash cams of the way they drive in Russia? Could you
absolutely.
could you imagine being flown to space by Russia?
Could you imagine being in a Soyuz capsule next to a Russian guy? You'd probably get a contact high from the vodka, like right before takeoff. Be like, glug, 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 glug. Okay, we do this for king and country. Get up there and you're just hammered.
Come on,
Those capsules are tiny.
Come on, bosom lady. Oh, wait,
Yeah,
that's
like,
Arnold.
have you ever seen the capsules? Full spacesuits and stuff themselves in there, and they're literally like just shoulder to shoulder. It's like a space Lotus Elise.
I think there would probably end up being a pop.
Hey, Sporks and Forks said Virgin Galactic is for poor people. I completely agree. Because rich people would take the Russian like 70s what used to be a nuclear missile with a capsule on the front of it. That's way better.
Mr. Pickles is saying it's 10,000 a pound.
Yeah, I think 10,000 pound is probably accurate for was that for private or is that for the commercial?
I don't know. I think he might be watching the part where you're talking about how much Russia charges, and he was.
Okay, so I think that's actually that's probably about right. That's way cheaper than what NASA was doing. I think NASA's more than $10,000 a pound, like way more than $10,000 a pound.
First drunken sex in space.
So who are the? Let's see.
Oh no, and guys, real quick too, since we have no real topics today other than Jerry kind of going off about space Pornhub.
Porn space, yeah.
Hashtag AskTechTalk on Twitter if you guys want to get your questions in there. Whatever you want it to be. This is a very laid back show, like we ever have a real formal show anyway. But look,
we should have a formal show one of these times just to throw everybody off.
Jerry's wearing his I Am Root shirt, by the way, his new I Am Root shirt.
I Am Root. Shop.barnerd.com.
I'm actually getting ready to launch an order site for the cycling jerseys people have been wanting. So I didn't really want to do the cycling jerseys, but I just kind of did a feeler, and there was like hundreds of people that wanted one, and apparently they're like all in Europe because that's where all the cycling is.
I'm gonna be honest. When we first met, I never pictured you as somebody who would end up selling cycling jerseys. Like, I'm just gonna throw that out there. Like when we first met, I was like, "This is a guy who is never gonna sell a cycling jersey."
You actually said that too. He walked it. I picked him up at the airport. He was like, "Jay, you will never sell a cycling jersey." He said that to me, like on the airport curb and everything.
Like all you can eat Chinese buffet somewhere. Oh my God, those were the days.
But you learned firsthand though when you came out here to visit that I don't eat a lot. Like you had to keep reminding me, like, so when's dinner? It's like 10:30 at night. I'm like, oh well, I will eat soon, like 4 in the morning. Are we gonna ever get dinner?
Yeah, no, you definitely didn't eat. I wouldn't say you didn't eat a lot. It's you didn't eat frequently.
Yeah.
Like there was long periods of time. Like I swear to God, if I didn't remind you to eat, I would have just starved to death.
Yeah, probably. Something tells me you would have survived for a little while though.
I'm thinking so. I was watching that. You ever watch that show Naked and Afraid?
Yeah. The wife had it on the other day. I love how like half the show is just nothing but blurred out, dangling, junk and boobs.
Yeah, I know. Every time they get a guy on the show that's like, well endowed, the editing department.
It's like, why is the blurry part? Why is the blurry going down to his knee?
You're out there talking. Would you please walk slower? It's really, really hard to keep that blur effect moving.
As he's walking, the blur is like swinging. Yeah, I'm serious. She was watching that show the other day. It just happened to be on. Like, she just didn't change the channel. And I was thinking to myself, who signs up to go into the wilderness naked with a stranger?
Here's the funniest thing about that show is that they always get, well, they don't get fit people like all the time. Like, I've seen a couple episodes where the dude's got a pretty good belly on him and stuff. But it's like, I saw one episode where the guy looked like he had a couple pounds on him. They couldn't find food in the first 3 days. So he just sat down next to the watering hole and basically just survived drinking water for like 21 days. And it's like, during the course of his thing, he lost 60 pounds, and you look at him, and he's like actually in good shape now. He looked like he was a little worse for wear.
Completely malnutritioned.
He was malnourished, but it still was one of those things where it's like, you know, if you were a skinny person and you were on Naked and Afraid, you'd be like, oh shit, I gotta find some food or I'm gonna die. And if you're a fat person on Naked and Afraid, you're just like, well, I don't feel like going and looking for food, but it doesn't really matter because I can just sit here.
Yeah, whoever he who controls the water wins.
That's right. That's right. You could. What is it? You can't survive without water for more than 3 days, but you can survive without food for like a month.
I don't think it's a month. I believe I heard you could survive up to 3 weeks without food. But
See,
you could, but
we'll ask Bing. How long can you survive without food? Because Bing would never lie, right?
I don't know. Let's ask Siri.
Wow, you were right. In a harsh environment, let's see, it's snowing. You have 3 hours to survive without shelter. You have 3 days with water and 3 weeks without food. So it's the rule of three.
Yeah, I remembered that because when I did all my survival camping, I used to do.
Oh, and
Survival
it says down
camping.
the bottom, unless you're fat, then it's like 3 to 6 months.
Then you just float down river to safety.
Yeah, it's like technically you just have to live longer than the skinnier person, so you can eat their remains and double your lifespan.
Like on Game of Thrones.
Oh God, that show's getting crazy. No spoilers though, Jay.
That wasn't a spoiler. It's like the very first episode you realize that the crows ate other crows.
I know that show is so horrible. Every episode I watch, I'm like, oh my God, I can't believe they did that.
How far are you right now? I wonder if you're ahead of me.
I think I just finished season 3.
Okay, I think we're one episode from the finale.
Okay, yeah, no, shit's about to get real, Jay. Well, actually, shit already got real, but it's about to get realer.
You know what I love about that show, and this is totally not tech related, and it's not gonna spoil
Nudity.
anything. Well, yeah, it is like
Nudity.
it's like watching an HBO softcore porn for an hour. But
It is.
every time there's a hot chick on TV, you're like, I can't wait to see her boobs because you know you're going to, right?
You are-
Yeah,
so true.
it's like, oh, she's hot. I wonder when we get to see hers.
It's so true. And like 3 episodes in, you're like, wow, how did she get out of that? And then the 4th episode, you're like, nope, she didn't.
Well, the thing with Game of Thrones is there's actually like 4 different stories happening. That's what I like about it. It's just not your protagonist and your antagonist. There's like 4 different real things happening at once, and it's crazy. I like it.
And there's no good guy. That's the thing is, every single one of them has an evil side. Even the guys that you're supposed to think are the good guys, they're really not. They're just out for themselves.
Well, that's what I love. We talked about it last week. You at least offline. When certain somebody was like, "Hey, what you did was very noble," and then certain somebody replies with like, "I didn't give a shit about you. I wanted to save my own skin." I mean, it's like, oh, okay, well. Yeah, but you start finding yourself empathizing with what you thought were the bad guys, and then you start finding yourself rooting for the bad guys. So
absolutely,
it totally messes with you. So, and especially when you find out some of the backstory of some of the bad guys. That's so vague, but you know exactly what I'm saying. I'm just gonna say Kingslayer. You know what I'm talking about.
Whoa, easy, or how I like to call him now, Nubby.
Nope.
Old Nubbins.
Give me a nub. Sorry. All right, we'll stop. We're turning both into dickholes now. Jerry's a dickhole. So
I know. God, how did we get that far off tech? Well, technically, Game of Thrones is a TV show, and it's encoded and broadcasted digitally. So
I watch it on my home theater PC.
That's true. I watch it on a projector, which is a digital projector, not an analog. Therefore, it's technology.
Well, even an analog, it's technology.
You're right. Wow,
dude, a hammer is technology.
Whoa, now you're just grabbing at shit.
I'm reminded of like the old Home Improvement episode where Tim, the Toolman Taylor, had the automatic hammer, and like it.
Oh yeah, the one with the head and the motor, like this.
Yeah. So, all right, what you got? You want to find us something?
I think we need to get back to the porn in space thing for an ender here,
okay.
And that is the professionals said that sex in space would actually be incredibly difficult because there's nothing keeping you stationary.
Yeah, it's like you thrust forward and you just go forward. It's like how you'd have to like strap down somehow, and that doesn't sound like fun.
Yeah, and apparently they have like sleeping bags that they can strap into, but there's not technically room for 2.
But then you wouldn't see anything.
Okay, so sex would be very difficult in zero gravity, apparently because you have no traction and you would keep bumping against the walls. I actually think that'd be kind of fun. It'd almost be like playing. I want you guys all to picture
it's like
something.
sex pong.
No. It's not sex pong. It's sex pin the tail on the donkey.
Oh, okay.
Because you literally got to get lined up, and I bet you it works a lot like the spaceship docking with the ISS. It's just you got to kind of eyeball it and get it right, and then you both want to start a rotation and be like. Na, 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 na.
The great part would be the entire scene would be in slow-mo, but it's actually in real time.
That's true. I want to see this now. I think I'm gonna go fund this. Here, where is it? Is it Kickstarter or Indiegogo? I don't even know. It doesn't say. Sorry, they're not getting my money. Damn it.
That's too bad. I guess we'll just have to do it ourselves for the sake of science. Not you and me. Not you and me. Just want to clarify that.
Oh, easy, Jay. Easy. I know you're getting all fit and good looking now, but I'm not interested yet.
Yeah, I was going to say yeah. You just give it a little bit of time there, sir.
I know. I think you lose another 10 pounds, you might have something going on.
I got 17 days to the end of this weight loss competition, and I'm right on the freaking heels of first place. I want that $1,000.
Well, what I wanted to do is I wanted to get my weight up really high so that I could lose weight faster when I started my diet to encourage me. So what I did is I gained like 60 pounds.
So you lose like 30 or 40 pounds just to get back to where you started, and you're like, accomplishment!
Yeah, woo, mission accomplished! Yeah, that's exactly what I'm doing.
It's kind of like when you're lost and you end up right back where you started.
I'm actually glad you scheduled the talk for today, because today is the first day that I'm officially not feeling depressed anymore. I had 8 days of probably some of the worst depression I've ever had in my life.
Then don't look at the comments.
What?
Then don't look at the comments.
No, just kidding.
And we lost him again. We'll see him in 6 months.
I do not have experience with sex in space. I'm going by what I'm reading here.
If you want to, okay, look, I guess the closest thing would be doing it like underwater. Because isn't that why they train underwater? Because the physics are very similar to being in zero gravity.
I've actually done it underwater, and it wasn't that difficult. But then again, my feet were planted on the ground. So.
God, there are so many jokes I could have gone with there, but none of them would have helped your psychological state. So I wasn't gonna go there.
Hey, I never used it as a thruster, though. I want to put that down. God, everything's an innuendo at this point. All right, next topic. Let's see. Well, I don't want to be on the Huffington Post anymore. Come on. Hey, where's a good outlet?
You know, the Huffington Post sounds like a cannabis site, doesn't it?
Kind of sounds like a porn site to me. Let's see.
No, that would be the Puffington Post.
Keeping mosquitoes at bay. Nobody cares.
Oh, guys, we're only going to 4:30 today.
Oh, yes. It's probably just like jump right into questions, huh?
Jerry's apparently got a social life and has people to see and places to go. So,
yeah, I got a new friend. I'll talk about it all in my video I'm releasing tonight, but I decided that I don't like my prison anymore, and I want to get out of my prison a little bit. So, because what you guys think is a really awesome nerd cave with lots of 3D printers and technology, I am starting to view as a prison. And so I want to leave that prison.
At least your room's bigger than mine. Mine is like literally the size of a cell.
Yours is, I was surprised how tiny it was. The camera doesn't really show how small that room is.
It's creative videography angles, sir.
It's all about the angle. Oh my
You know, I'm so sick of hearing in my life it's smaller than I thought it would be.
Jay, I've never heard that in my entire life.
Everybody who's ever been in here, EVJ Jacob, they're like, wow, it's smaller than I thought it would be. Fractal Josh, it's really small in here. He's probably practically bumping his head. Guys, stop telling me it's smaller than you thought it would be.
Lowered expectations.
You should have low expectations, because then you're never let down.
It's not about the size.
Aim for the moon.
How fast you can finish.
Aim for the stars. That way, when you reach the moon, you're still not let down, or something. How the T-shirt saying goes. Yeah, that shoot. Just fuck. Shut up. You're stupid.
I like how you just troll yourself.
No, I was talking to you.
What?
The look you were giving me. Shut up. You don't know anything.
I know everything about everything until I don't. All right, you guys want to hear some Ask Tech Talk questions?
Oh,
should we hand the show over to our capable viewers that never ask anything stupid at all?
He said it, not me. Don't unsub me.
Unsub JayzTwoCents. I'm JayzTwoCents. Unsub me now. Okay, so John Akers, surprisingly good friend of mine that I worked with for many years. Actually, we kind of hated each other back then and became friends after he was gone. Anyways, doesn't matter. He said, speaking of home audio systems, what do you think about Sonos for Wi-Fi based home audio?
He should go watch my video.
Oh yeah, you did a thing on Sonos.
I did a video on the Sonos soundbar with the Sonos sub.
Yeah, a recent friend I just made had like a bunch of Sonos stuff installed throughout his house, and he loves it.
It's called the Play Bar, and what I like about it is the fact that you can Wi-Fi connect speakers in different rooms, but each one of them becomes its own separate player. So like with one iPhone or iPad or Android, you can like have lullabies playing in the baby's room. You can have, the Sonos Play Bar in the living room playing a movie with the full sub. You can have like the Sonos 5 in the bedroom playing a different song, and it's all hooked up Wi-Fi. So that's
pretty cool.
It's awesome. I mean, I sacrificed some of the surround effects, obviously of having the 7.1 taken out of the living room, but I gained just total flexibility of the system, and it still sounds really good. And the Sonos sub put my Yamaha sub, as you say, like completely to shame. And
Yamaha.
It's way smaller though.
How the hell did you say Yamaha?
That's how you Yamaha.
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 It's like yams.
Yamaha.
Yams.
Will Wheaton. Yeah, Will Wheaton.
Will Wheaton.
That's kind of what we're having right here. The only downside is the play bar is $700. The sub is $700. I mean, like each individual small speaker for the rears for surround would be like $200 a piece. It's not cheap. So yeah. Anyway, if you go to my channel, just look up Sonos. You'll see my review of it. And hit some Guardians of the Galaxy playing in the background.
Ooh. Ooh. Okay, so now we got, let's see here. Wow, I don't even know how to pronounce that last name. Joshua Jurgelwicks.
Like, you know what I could do before you...
What?
This is fun. I could turn on my phone right now, open the Sonos app, and just crank the stereo right now that the wife's watching TV on and scare the living crap out of her. I've done it to little Jay. She's in there watching cartoons, and she's scared of loud noises. So I take the app, and I just like... Doink! I just put it on max volume, and it's like shaking the house down just suddenly. It's really funny watching them panic to try and turn it back down.
Can you play music from your cell phone through it?
Yeah, you
should put like a bunch of sound effects on there. It's like, I will eat your soul, and just randomly play it on speakers.
No,
while watching TV.
you can stream from the phone through the Wi-Fi to the player and play music that way. If you have like music on the phone you want to play.
Yep.
Otherwise, like the Pandora apps and all the other like iHeartRadio apps and all the other apps you would use to listen to music, Rhapsody and all that is built into the player. As long as you give it the login info, you can use your phone to control it, but you don't lose control of your phone. The player just takes over playing the music service you told it to play.
That's cool. Sounds a lot like Google Chrome and how it works with video.
Yeah.
Like where it's running the apps, basically, and you're just telling it what to do with those apps, so if you get disconnected or your phone dies or
Right,
something.
because I wouldn't want to listen to music and have to have my phone streaming the Pandora to the play bar. That kind of sucks. It would eat up battery, and then I'd lose some of the connectivity of my phone. So
that would suck.
Yeah, a phone call comes in, your music stops playing, it would be crap. So
it's like boop 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 boop.
All of a sudden, you're just hearing like private conversation broadcasted throughout the house.
It's one thing I hate about Skype is I got it installed on so many things now. Like when people call me, I'll be like, if it's in the morning or something, I'm sleeping in bed, I hear like 5 or 6 slightly delayed different ring tones coming from all over the house.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh my God, they're coming to get me. All right, so Joshua says, what are your thoughts about E3 and the consumer version 1 Oculus Rift and Microsoft?
I already got to experience the consumer version 1 of the Oculus Rift back for the 980 Ti press meeting. That I got to do.
What's the effective resolution on it? Do you remember?
It's still 1080p.
Aw, lame.
Lame. Yeah, so there is still a little bit of a screen door effect, but it didn't make me feel sick or nauseous, which all VR had been doing up to this point. But that has something. I guess that has a lot to do though with DX12, which it was being demoed with, as well as NVIDIA's predictive technology of the motion.
Yep.
So I really liked it. I'm going to be at E3, so I'll be demoing it again too there. But it's the first VR headset that I actually was excited about, and I want to get one, and I want to put it on the simulator cockpit.
Oh no! Did you try it on a simulator when you did the demo?
No, the demo was just set up to a PC and was just showing like some of the walkthrough stuff, like the.
So I used it both with iRacing, not the V1. This is the DK2 and the DK1.
Mm-hmm.
I did iRacing and Grid, and it is a phenomenally good experience. But the resolution really makes it hard to predict corner entry. Like it kind of feels like you have slight glaucoma and you come up on the corner and you're like, oh shit. Yeah. The resolution just needs to be a little better. But I know their biggest problem that they had, and the reason why it isn't released to retail right now, is because 1 out of 3 people experienced motion sickness. And they said it was 1 because of the slight delay, so your head moving and the image not moving.
See, that didn't happen.
That's great. Even on the DK1, it was really good, but some people were sensitive to even the most minor delay, so they reduced that way down. And then they said the other thing was the blurring.
Oh, you know what? They're saying it's 1440p, and you're right. Actually, Tom Peterson said it's 1440p.
That's way better then.
But there is still a little bit of screen effect on there.
Yeah, I've heard, but still at 1440 though, I bet you for racing simulators that'd be more than enough for it to be a good experience.
See, I could have swore Tom Peterson told me it was 1080, but the bottom line was resolution aside, I was looking for what you're describing though. I was making sure I was checking for motion delay, just feeling, with the exception of looking down and just like floating in midair and not seeing my body was kind of weird, obviously.
Yeah.
But there was this one demo where it's slowly moving forward, and there's like this like robot attacking the city, and the cars are exploding and flipping over top of you.
Yeah, I
It's
haven't
all
done that demo.
it's all slow motion. The problem with that is because it's slightly pushing through the scene on your own, and you could turn around and look behind you and crap. Because I wasn't walking, but my brain thought I was. Apparently, I
Yeah.
was very wobbly. Like the guys at Nvidia were like standing behind me with their hands out, like, "Okay, this guy's gonna totally fall."
Oh no, and that's always going to happen. Like I did. Did you do the roller coaster demo? So the
No,
roller
they didn't
coaster
do
demo,
that.
you literally have to be sitting down. I went to remember when we were at PDX Land?
Yeah.
I don't think you were out there when I did it, but they had a chair that you were supposed to sit in, and I was like, chairs are for pussies. So I stood up and I did the demo. And if two people hadn't have caught me, I would have gone through the table and the computer in front of me. Like literally, I was like,
Yeah.
I was doing this. It's really disorienting.
The thing is, they have this new technology though that they're using in the VR that Nvidia and VR teamed up for, where they're warping the image.
Yes.
And so they're actually using lower pixel count, which is helping with the frame rates and the smoothness on the edges of the screen, and then it's kind of warped like oblong shape, so that the lens actually recorrects it. So you're
Right.
losing a detail on the sides in terms of like pixel sharpness, but it actually looked better that way, because part of the problem with 3D gaming is everything in focus is it messes with your eyes. Like right now, I'm looking at the Skype window. I'm looking at you, right? So you are in focus, but everything, even just a couple inches away from you, is slightly out of focus because your human eye focuses on a pinpoint. So that's the way the VR, the consumer version looks, because it's using that new technology. So because of that, they're able to run a higher resolution image and still get really good frame rates, which
Yep.
makes me wonder, with that technology, how far are we going to be away from, say, 4K in the VR?
Here's the thing that's a little bit weird is there's already companies that are manufacturing headsets kind of like the paper, what is it, the Google Cardboard? The cardboard glasses where you slide your cell phone in, and a lot of those cell phones have 4K screens.
Right.
But they don't have the processing power to drive a good experience at 4K.
Right.
And the only reason why I can think that Oculus Rift hasn't adopted one of those 4K screens is because the latency and the blurring on motion is horrible.
Yeah.
With the optics. Like, because if those weren't problems, of course they would adopt that technology, even if it was expensive, because it would make the experience so much better. But I think it's just like you. I think right now them hitting 1440p or 2160 by 1080.
Well, they're saying 2160 by 1200, which is
by
more
1200, so it's
Yeah.
even a taller image.
Yeah.
Okay. So by them, they must have found a specific panel or even had a panel engineered that could handle. And I know they do the full pixel off and on now too, so there's
Yeah.
no blur.
Yeah.
Like, that was the problem with the one, is if you whipped your head back and
it was
forth,
very
it
ghosting.
was like streaks of ghosting.
Yeah.
And if they fix that problem, I think, oh my God, now I really want to try a one, because those are my two biggest gripes, were the motion blur when you move your head, and you had to move it really fast, so it wasn't horribly bad. The screen door, which on the DK1, oh my God, it's almost like, it seriously looks like you have like diseases in your eyes. But the resolution was the killer.
Right.
So they fixed the resolution. I am all over that. And dude, could you imagine us like racing and iRacing, where you can look over your shoulder at the other guy and I can see you continuously trying to bump my rear end like an asshole, trying to run me out in a corner? I mean, that's priceless.
I would have to be behind you for that to be the case.
Well, you would, because right off the starting line, I'd spin you.
Oh.
Get out in front of you, and then you'd want to exact revenge by corner 3 because you'd catch me because I'm so slow.
I see. So there's two things I want to talk about, actually.
Wait, before we wrap up on that, though, there was one other, the other side he asked was, and of course I got to bring this one up because I'm a bitter asshole, is Oculus and Microsoft. What do you think about that relationship? I kind of found that a little bit weird since Facebook owns Oculus.
I know nothing about what you're speaking.
Okay, so anyways, I guess Microsoft's teaming up with Oculus to actually sell an Xbox 360 style controller in the box with the Oculus. So they're partnering up on it.
So Microsoft itself isn't involved in the headset.
Correct. They're not involved in the headset itself, but they're trying to do like a packaging kind of deal for the gaming experience. But I thought it was kind of weird that Microsoft was working with them, since they're so heavily invested in the HoloLens technology.
Yeah.
And HoloLens is getting shit on. Like,
Yeah.
I guess the retail unit they created has a horrible field of view, and it's like just killing the experience.
Microsoft's probably just trying to get their hands in everyone's cookie jar.
Oh, I had a really dirty picture right there.
Do you fart
right.
cookies?
I used to like cookies, not anymore though, because now I'm skinny people.
Oh.
Hashtag skinny people.
Yeah, you just gotta do.
Not there yet, but I will be there eventually. So hashtag skinny people.
I ate a brownie today, so I guess I'm not skinny.
Did it have anything fun in it?
No, it's California, sir.
Oh yeah, I forgot. Not everybody has the same liberties we do.
Liberties. All right,
No,
so
actually. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
no, YouTube has released 8K playback.
Oh shit! I tried this the other day and my computer couldn't even handle it with two 980s.
No, dude, Skunkworks played it flawlessly. Just it stayed about maybe a quarter of the video ahead on the streaming, so my 300 megabit download was able to download it with no problem, and the
Yep.
playback was just 100% smooth, not a single stutter, buffer, or pause. And this article was like, your computer can't handle 8K, and I was like, yes, it can.
Wait, you
Fuck
have
you, writer.
What do you have in that system? What GPU wise?
3 Titan X's.
Oh, what the, fucking duh, dude! I'm saying with two 980s, so I have two 980s in my system, William, and it was literally playing like for 3 seconds smooth, even though it was buffered. 3 seconds smooth, and then it'd be like jump, 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 jump. 3 seconds smooth, jump, 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 jump. Even though it was fully buffered, like it was just killing my computer.
Huh? I feel like I should load up that video right now. I wish I had the link. Can you find the link to that video?
Yeah, I'm looking for it right now. So 8K video demo.
Yeah, let me see if I can find it. Maybe I can live stream this. Let's see how it does with the live stream going. The computer explodes.
Yeah, guys, if we go offline, it's just because I'm trying to remember why isn't this like the top video here? 8K video test.
Was it the one that you were playing with the ghost towns? Because there's a few of them.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, here I found another one. Yeah, 4320p, 8K. All right, here I'm gonna go ahead and just link it to the YouTube chat.
I got it. Here, hold on.
Oh, you got it. Okay.
It's already buffered. It's half buffered. Okay, 4320p. Right. It's already buffered. Here, let's do this.
Okay, it's chopping. Now Skype's starting to chop. Am I still coming in?
Yeah.
Okay, hold on. I'm opening up Task Manager so I can see what the utilization is.
Okay, I got to add a scene here real quick. Add a window capture.
Which browser are you using?
Google.
Oh, I'm using Google too. So I'm using Chrome. We're both using the same latest Java version, I presume.
Okay. Okay. So it's up on the screen right now. You guys can see down here. It is. Whoops. It is in 4320p, and this is also while encoding.
Wow.
Hold on, it's going.
Dude. Well, I can't see. I just have to.
Yeah, you'll see the
I'm gonna see you on a
playback.
30-second delay, so I have to just act like it. Like wow. So even though I don't see it.
Yeah, I had to close down the little ad that popped up.
I would say right now I am getting about 3 to 4 frames per second.
Really?
Full
Watch
speed.
the playback. It's already streaming right now. You'll see it here.
Here, can you open up MSI Afterburner and see what the GPU utilization is?
I don't use Afterburner. I use Precision, and it's not
Or
running.
whatever you use, that's fine.
It's not running right now.
Oh,
I
you
don't
can't
really
fire-
want to open it up while I'm encoding. I don't know what'll happen.
Okay, no, the only reason I'm asking is because, well, actually, here, let me open, I don't care, I'll open it up on mine. Let me see. You said Afterburner?
Well,
no,
I use Precision because I have the Titans, and that's how I get voltage control.
Okay, let's see what my GPU utilization is. Okay, I got it up on the screen. I'm going to go ahead and hit play on 8K video. And my GPU utilization is at 3%. Why in the fuck?
It's because GPUs.
not use
It's
GPU?
because GPUs don't render 2D video like that. That's why I didn't understand this article complaining about your computer can't run 4K. It should be your 8K. It should be your internet can't run 8K. Is what it should be. Even though it buffers ahead, I don't know. I mean, you see the stream, right?
Yeah, I'm buffered at 50. Here, let me rewind it all the way. I'm buffered at 50% now. And it plays smooth every once in a while for about a second or two, but then it starts chop, 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 chop. And it's buffered, dude. So I'm telling you guys right now, William with 2 6-core Xeons and 2 920s. Now, granted, they're not being utilized for some damn reason. I know you said that GPUs aren't used for 2D rendering, but that's not actually entirely true. Because
No,
remember,
for the
compression can be handled by GPUs.
Yeah, but for the 2D playback, that's not your limiting factor in this case here.
It shouldn't be. No. I wonder what the deal is then.
Yeah.
That's, for you, and you'd say it's smooth, like 30 frames per second smooth?
It's playing at whatever the encoder is. You saw it's still going. There's not a single pause.
Yeah. Hold on here. I'm going to open up Firefox and see if it does the same thing. I'm wondering if maybe there's a plugin loaded or something that's screwing with it. Let's see. 8K video test, copy.
Yeah, guys, I can't put the link in here. It won't let me do links on the live stream. So just look up YouTube 8K Ghost Towns, and that video will come up, and you guys can try it yourself. But it just did that. I just did that while encoding and sending video up. So I mean, I don't know. This article though, this article, it was a friend on Facebook that linked it to me. Like, I bet your computer can't handle this, and I'm like, okay. So I played it, and I'm like, what am I missing here? And then all the comments were from other people saying my computer wouldn't play it.
Yeah, mine isn't either. So I'm thinking, yeah, I think it's a different problem, and he probably just experienced that and made an assumption in the article.
Probably.
You know what's weird though? I opened up Firefox, and Firefox is only presenting me with 720p as the highest resolution, but Chrome is presenting 8K.
Weird.
That's really strange. I find that even stranger than not playing.
YouTube bias much?
Yeah, YouTube's like, you're running Firefox.
Well, for everyone running AMD cards, 240p was the only option.
Oh my god. Oh, AMD is for
no, we're on the verge of. And that was the other thing I wanted to talk about. Actually, was the leaked pictures of the XFX 390X on the shelf at Best Buy early on accident.
Somebody already bought two of them. Somebody sent me a picture earlier. They had two of them in their car.
I feel bad for whoever just bought 8K or 8 gigabyte versions of the 290X at $450.
Oh, ouch! What's the price tag on the 390?
390X was $449.
Really? And
Yeah.
they're saying that that's supposed to be a Titan killer?
Well, I don't know. See, that's the thing. We're in the middle. We're in like rumor mill city right now because we're 3 days away from the official launch, which is the AMD at Computex said June 16th. But that I don't know if that's going to be the Fury launch. I guess that's what they're apparently rumored to call the Fiji card, which is going to be HBM stacked RAM. But here's the thing. Apparently, all the leaks are showing that the 390X is the same Hawaii core found in the 290X, but with 8 gigabytes of GDDR5 factory from reference PCB. So if it's true, I hope it's not true. God, for the sake of AMD and the fallout that they'll feel if they rebranded a 290X, put 8 gigs on it, and hiked up the price another $150.
Yep.
Because you can get a Sapphire 290X 8 gigabyte card for less than $450. I don't know exactly what to expect here, but the 390X is very unlikely to be a Titan or a 980 Ti killer.
Let's see here. So the 390X right now looks like on eBay there's a couple selling for around $469. I'm actually surprised that because Best Buy screwed up and sold a bunch of them that they're not all showing up on eBay for like $3,000.
It's because they know better.
No, this reminds me of who was it that screwed up for me? Oh yeah, remember when Oblivion came out? Morrowind Oblivion?
Yeah.
I bought it like I think it was 5 days before it went on sale because I went to Target and I asked them because I didn't know what the release date it was. I legitimately didn't know, and I thought it was getting close. So I'm at Target. Right. I'm like, "Hey, you guys got Morrowind Oblivion?" And they're like, "Oh, it's not on the shelf." So they call the back room, and the back room's like, "Oh yeah, no, we got some boxes back here." And they open up the boxes and they bring them out. And I'm not even shitting you. There is a sticker on top of the box that even I can clearly see as they're opening it. It says, "Do not sell before this date." And it wasn't that day. And the lady at the counter completely ignored it. Like she just opened up the box, handed me a copy, and sold it to me.
I'm surprised it even scanned in the system.
It not only did it scan in the system, when I got home and put it in my Xbox Live, I actually got a console ban.
Oh yeah, I believe it.
Because they thought I pirated it. I remember I had to actually send mail while I was working at Microsoft.
With your receipt from Target?
Well, I didn't have to give them the receipt. They just believed me because I was an employee. But I wonder how many other people got their consoles banned because they legitimately bought a game too early.
I don't know. So yeah, anyway, just to cap off the AMD discussion, which was the other thing I wanted to talk about though. The problem here is that a lot of people were expecting the 390X to be the new flagship card. Like,
that was my expectation.
But it's not. It's not. It's like Titan is not a part of the 900 series, right? It's technically not. The Titan wasn't a part of the 700 series either. It was its own like line of GPU. Titan, Titan Black, Titan Z, blah, blah, blah. And so AMD is launching a new line of cards, which is rumored to be called Fury, AMD Fury, and it's going to have its own line of pricing and RAM availability and stuff. And I saw some leaked images of pricing apparently that showed it ranging anywhere from like $700 or $649 up to like $899.
Well, for being a flagship card, if it lives up to the hype, then yeah, it'd be well worth it.
With the exception of the 295X2 and a couple of other dual GPU cards they had in the past, AMD's never had a single GPU card. Granted, the 295X2 and all that's not a single GPU. AMD's never had a single GPU card priced in this range, ever. So this is kind of like interesting territory for AMD because normally AMD is let's face it, because AMD's CPUs now are like 5 years old, they've not updated the chipsets. They're still on PCIe Gen 2 on their AMD motherboards and stuff, at least for FX line anyway, which is like the gamer line. AMD needs to really pull out a hat trick here. Otherwise, this might be a nail in the coffin for a lot of AMD supporters. And when they've only got like 22% of the gaming GPU market, they need to get a bigger foothold in the market.
Oh, absolutely. To be completely honest, I'm surprised that they haven't just like rolled over and given up.
Yeah, well,
NVIDIA has gotten so far out ahead as far as their interactions with game publishers and how much money they have to throw around and everything. I'm just surprised that AMD hasn't just been like, nope, we're done.
AMD is kind of operating on debt, though. See, the argument is,
what's their net worth right now? By the way, do you know what they're trading at?
I look it up.
Stock symbol?
AMD.
So come on, before you guys are too hard on me on that one, some of them aren't like what you think, right? Like MSFT, I thought was funny that's Microsoft and stands for Microsoft full time. Let's see. So AMD stock. I just want to see a comparison.
It's under 100 million or 100 billion. I know that. It's like 10 billion.
So they're down $2.31 a share. Really? They're that cheap? Let's see.
Yeah. Well, aluminum is also $2.10 a pound right now at the recycling center. So
Nvidia's $21 a share. So.
Yeah, but what's net value of the company?
So their market cap's 11.36 billion.
Yeah, and if you look at the 2-year history on that, it used to be a lot higher.
Oh no shit! Even on Nvidia?
No, I'm talking about AMD.
Oh, sorry, no. I'm saying Nvidia's 11.36 billion. AMD is 1.8 billion.
Wow.
AMD's almost down in the million club.
Wow.
Ed, you should just quit. Just go beg for a job at Nvidia, and when I see you at PDX Land, I'll bring in my Nvidia poster.
You know, the argument that a lot of people are using. Yeah, but AMD has the consoles. They got all those console sales. It's AMD's doing really well. Here's what they don't understand. AMD bidded at cost. AMD bidded at cost to get the console sales. They made no money. They made no money on it.
A lot of people don't realize too that in the console world, money is not. You don't make any money on selling the console.
No, it's the games.
You don't. That's why, because that's the problem with having like rivals like Sony and Microsoft. They're so close and in competition in many ways, except for the PS4, I think was honestly a colossal flop. People will argue with me on that, but the Xbox One also has some pitfalls. But when you have two companies that are competing at that level where they both have very, very close market share at certain points, they literally compete themselves down into a negative number.
Yeah.
Like I remember when Xbox 360 came out, like everybody's like, wow, Xbox 360 survived. What is it going on? Like 11 or 12 years now or something. I mean, it's been a dominant console up until this last generation. And people don't realize when we sold those things, I still say I need to get out of that habit. Microsoft sold those damn things for, what was it, like $350 when they first came out, and it cost them $550 to build it.
Yeah.
So they were literally, every time you bought an Xbox 360, you were basically sticking it to Microsoft for $200.
I can't believe that Bill Gates himself is how many hundreds of times overvalued over AMD? He personally?
I think he's still worth about $50 billion, isn't he? Or unless you count Warren Buffett's donation to him.
So Bill Gates' personal worth is 50 times the value of AMD?
Oh shit, 86 billion last checked at 2015. Oh my god. So yeah, basically at 1.8 he's like 50 some odd times worth. He could buy 50 AMDs.
Well, you know, here's my prediction. And guys, this isn't a fanboy thing. This is my prediction in terms of business. And apparently you saw something very interesting.
Melinda Gates, his wife alone is worth 70 billion.
Yeah, well, that sounds smart to diversify their income like that.
No, but that's insane. I never would have guessed that. And poor Paul Allen only has like 17.6. That guy's like for poor people.
I don't know. That guy's such a loser, washout. So, here's my prediction. Are you ready? Because I did this prediction last year. Okay, 300 series cards are going to launch. There's going to be some fan fallout, and there's going to be other people that are just like, whatever, I don't care. It's still cheaper and performs fine for me at 1080p. That's fine.
Yep.
Fury's going to launch, and it might take the lead from NVIDIA in terms of pure benchmarking scores, FPS and stuff, if you don't count things like GameWorks, involvement. If we're just talking just flat out DX related gaming, no Mantle, just DirectX 12, it might be faster than NVIDIA's Titan. And they're gonna sit on top just like they did for the 7970 for a year. Then NVIDIA is going to come out with their second gen HBM, which is what they're already working on with Pascal. And then NVIDIA is going to come out and just completely squash Fury. But the problem is, at that time, AMD's money, as you can see, they don't have the R&D it's going to take to come out with HBM second gen next year, like NVIDIA is going to do. They're just going to continue to rebrand Fury like they've been doing, and then they're going to continue to fall farther and farther behind. So I feel like they might leapfrog one time here, and then they're going to fall back for several years again if they can pull out of that nosedive. Who knows how much Fury cost them to develop? Obviously, it's taken them almost 2 years to develop a new graphics card. So who knows what's been going on behind the scenes? And in terms of like, people think I have a card. I don't. AMD has not sent any review samples. They will not send any review samples. They want to be the ones to launch it. I even asked Gigabyte. I asked them if they are going to send me a Fury card, and they were like, "No, we're not sending out any Fury cards because they're going to be referenced. We're not sending reference cards for review." So I don't know, and I'm not sure. I think AMD might treat Fury very similar to how NVIDIA treats the Titan, where board partners are not allowed to customize the design. And if that's the case, then you'll be stuck with just one card option for Fury, and that's going to hurt, sales and competition as well. You'll have that Fury card with that AIO cooler, and that's it.
I think AMD's only chance at survival in the GPU space is to continue doing the whole open source initiatives and things like that, and try to get something to bite that NVIDIA literally cannot follow. And I mean, it's a crapshoot. I can't think of anything off the top of my head that they could do that would make that successful. But I think, honestly, they're going to have to come up with something and the only way NVIDIA wouldn't be able to follow or create something that's competitive is if it was something that was incredibly cheap and in the public space so they didn't have to pay for it, like open source.
There's a lot of fears about...
And Mantle's a failure at this point, right? I mean, is it safe to say Mantle's pretty much just done? I don't hear about it ever anymore.
Mantle never made it to WICL certification, first of all.
I would have been surprised if they were able to get a WICL certification, because part of the WICL certification process for a GPU is its DirectX compatibility.
Yeah. So that's why all of Mantle has been considered beta catalyst. DirectX 12, we can thank Mantle for speeding up DirectX 12 and the API overhead improvements from Microsoft. But still, ultimately, Microsoft DirectX is I like the DirectX implementation because it's third party. It's not controlled by the GPU manufacturer. When you have a AMD GPU manufacturer controlling the driver, it's no different really than them saying, well, NVIDIA was being completely biased by doing GameWorks. AMD may have said that Mantle was open source, but they knew NVIDIA would never utilize it. So DX12 is going to be the future.
And only supported on Windows 10, by the way.
Yeah, true. That's it. But look, at least Windows this time around is giving everyone free upgrades. Like I've already claimed mine. You
mean free downgrade?
Free whatever grade.
No, I honestly think the reason why they're doing that, I think there's a couple things that Microsoft's doing that's a little bit shifty because of the whole Windows 10 initiative. And that is, one, they're basically telling everybody it's going to be free, but at some point you'll have to pay if you don't take them up on their free deal.
Yeah.
There's some speculation there, but that looks like the model they're going with because they want to force people on it. And the other thing is, the gamers make up some of the biggest pools of Windows users, because if you're a corporate user or something like that, you can use something like Linux on your system, or
So then you're looking at a $100 upgrade to have to use to get DX12.
Exactly. And so all the gamers are going to be like, wow, it's free right now. It's going to support DX12. My GPU is going to support DX12. So I'd be stupid not to upgrade, even if it's a big smoldering pile of shit.
Yeah.
I don't think it's always going to be a piece of shit. I just think that, honestly, with them moving it up, they said, what is their ship date? Next month?
July.
Yeah. So in July, they're shipping. And I don't think it's anywhere near ready to ship. I think it's going to ship as a beta type OS that everybody's going to upgrade to in waves.
Yeah.
That's the other thing. You notice how you have to register for the upgrade and get notified?
Yeah.
It's because they want to do it in waves so that if the first wave encounters a show-stopping issue,
they stop it.
They can stop it and fix it before it goes out to the next wave. So they're basically, you better hope you're not in wave one.
Yeah.
If you're in wave one, I guarantee you're going to be feeling some pain.
Well, if I'm in wave one, I'll use the update on one of my other systems. I won't use it on Skunkworks, that's for sure.
Somebody just pointed out in a tweet that I have a micro J down in the corner of my screen.
Yeah, it's because it's capturing the screen for Jerry. It's a screen capture rather than a video feed capture like XSplit does. So I have two webcams. That way he can see me and then you guys can see me.
I like being able to see Jay. It gets me really fired up for this show.
But he's so used to me not having a camera. Like last week, he had just had me covered up with windows, and so he wasn't seeing anything I was doing.
Yep, and it's usually shenanigans. Hey guys, if you're enjoying the stream, go ahead and hit that like button down below. Looks like we have 1,770 live viewers right now. That is fantastic. That is amazing.
Yeah.
And I just got a notification that somebody bought a shirt. Awesome. Thank you guys.
You know, I don't think first of all, somebody was like, well, if AMD goes down, then NVIDIA and Intel are going to monopolize, and they completely like mutilated the spelling of monopolize. By the way, I just want to point that
I
out.
would have too, so I can't cast.
Monopolize. No, I don't. It's Intel has already been existing in in a competition-free space. Okay, AMD is no competition for Intel whatsoever. They're on two different focus paths. So you're not going to see a monopoly. You're not going to see an increase in prices. What you're going to see is a slowdown of advancement of speed and technology. I mean, why dump billions of dollars into R&D or hundreds of millions or whatever it costs for them to develop a new chip architecture when there's no reason to, when nobody's there knocking at your back door, trying to take sales from you? Would you agree with that statement, Jerry?
Oh, absolutely. And Intel has actually done that before on several occasions.
We're there now. Intel
Yeah.
in terms of from Sandy Bridge and up, from Sandy Bridge through Ivy Bridge, and even now with the 4790K and even with Broadwell, technically
Yeah.
Broadwell's we're still waiting to be seen full desktop function, but there's been such minuscule updates in terms of speed and architecture. And we're talking like 5% in some cases of speed improvement. It usually comes down to just like TPC improvement or TDP improvements.
Yep. And the other thing is, I remember, what was it? This would have been probably around 2010. I saw Intel's trajectory, that basically like their plan for their generation of CPUs.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, at this point in time, they already planned to basically have CPUs that were maxed out at 5 gigahertz and starting to spread out into the 16 to 32 core region.
Yeah.
And they haven't had to yet. That's why you don't see that stuff exist. If AMD had started coming hard with 16 core and 24 core processors, honestly, Intel would have already been ready to counter that. There's just no reason for them to.
Yeah. Well, also too, the rumor has it though that the silicon that we're on is the limiting factor of 5 gigahertz though.
No, that's true. They have been searching for another material that's a better conductor, but I don't think they found it yet.
Yeah, I don't know. It really comes down to the developers though to utilize those additional threads.
Yeah,
I mean,
and
you can have all the threads in the world, and if the program you're using, the API doesn't call for it, or the instruction set doesn't call for it, they're just sitting there.
Yeah, and that's the other thing, is it doesn't make any sense for a developer of a game. Games have a finite life cycle. They all do, unless you're like something like Half-Life or a sandbox game like Minecraft or something like that's heavily moddable. Most of them have a finite life. So it's not in the best interest of the developer to develop the game for technology that might exist in a year.
Yeah.
They develop it to maximize the most expensive technology that exists at that point in time, so that therefore they're the best looking game out there, and they don't go beyond that. Some exceptions to the rule, I guess, would be Crysis, because CryEngine was so heavily unoptimized that even by today's standards, you can still slow a modern PC down running like the first Crysis if you max everything out and crank the resolution to 4K.
Right.
But for the most part, there's no reason to develop for it. So realistically, it's the hardware driving the software, not the other way around.
Yeah.
You don't have developers from EA coming out and saying like, NVIDIA, we need you to create a special GPU that has 8 cores on it so that we can generate threads in a certain way and get this really cool effect. It doesn't work that way. They're more to the effect that's like, hey, NVIDIA, what APIs do we have to do cool shit in our game? And NVIDIA's like, well, we got this Bloom API. You want to use it? Sure.
Yeah.
That's more of how the conversation goes down from the hardware and software side of things.
Right. Well,
27. Holy crap. Time flies.
Somebody said that if Intel sold the Titan X for $650, no one would ever buy an AMD. They already do. It's called 980 Ti. It just has a little bit less RAM and a couple extra or less CUDA cores. This guy right here I'm gonna hold this guy up. This is the Gigabyte 980 Ti.
Fans much?
Yeah, it's the same amount of fans they've always had on there. They just added some silver accents. This is the G1 Gaming, the custom PCB 980 Ti. This thing basically steps all over the Titan X, and it's a lot cheaper than a Titan X. So,
Do you know if they're going to make a Strix version of the 980 Ti?
of course,
Haha, I need to talk to Puget.
this
Hey, Puget Systems, if you're listening, I need some TIs.
this card right here I'm holding though is faster and quieter than a Strix.
Really?
Yep. The G1 Gaming has generally been one of the quietest cards you can get, and typically they perform a little bit better than the Strix.
What's the sticker price on that guy?
I don't know if I'm allowed to say. Technically,
Okay,
they're not out yet. I've got one of 4 of them that exist.
Dude, like what? Can you say what price bracket it'll kind of be in? Like,
I would say like 675-ish, under 7.
so not like super crazy.
Well,
money.
reference is 650. So, it's
Not be worth it. God, that's just a little bit more.
yeah.
And
Well,
did you already run all the tests on that card too?
on this card, no,
Yeah,
but I've already seen the preliminary benchmarks that were sent with it, so I know what to expect as my baseline. But of course, I'm going to push it farther than
Yeah, that's what I was wondering. Is because it has the better cooling on it? Does it got a lot more headroom? As far
this
as
cooler. This cooler is a 600 watt TDP capable cooler. So the amount of fins on this thing,
so it can display 600 watts of heat.
yes, which
That's
is
pretty damn
which is
impressive.
way more than the graphics card is producing.
Wow, that's insane. And the heatsink contacts, like all the VR, or what is it, the memory and the voltage regulation module and all that stuff.
Yep,
It's got a pretty good heatsink on it.
oh god, the heatsink on this thing is massive. But what I like about this heatsink though is the VRMs are in direct contact with the copper pipes.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So and it's got a massive copper plate that runs the entire length. You can kind of see it under there. I don't know how well you can see that. There is actually a massive copper plate under there. You can see it right here. It's full contact of all the RAM, all the GPU. But then, see how well you can see this right
Yep, we can see it.
here. See if you can get a view in there. Actually, you can't really tell, but right in there, there's another copper plate that runs the VRMs that makes a direct contact with the actual main cooler part of it. It's not like the route Asus went with the Matrix Platinum, where they put a tiny little billet like stick-on heatsink on it that doesn't even contact the main cooling segment of the card.
And plus, there's separate plates going into the heat pipes, so you're not saturated. They're not saturating each other on the same plate.
Right, the VRM one is independent.
Yeah, because heat pipes are single direction, right? I mean, if you have 2 heat pipe arrays going in, they won't bleed over each other because I think the heat only travels one way.
Yeah, it's always, the heat is always going to expand away from wherever the source is. So some of the heat pipe, where the GPU is more in the center of the card, some of the heat's moving forward, some of the heat's moving backward.
Yeah, because I remember I thought I was watching a thing on TV where they were explaining how the heat pipes worked and how there's like a vapor inside or something like that, and it literally transports the heat in one direction.
Well,
but I don't know if it's in one direction because one side's cooler than the other, and it's like a wicking effect.
No, that you're talking about a vapor cooler. That's not.
No, you're right.
Yeah, that's a vapor chamber, and that has a wicking effect. The standard heat pipes don't. That's just plain up convection.
That's crazy. Well, do we want to take one more question before we shut it down?
Sure, one more.
All right, let's go do an Ask Tech Talk, because we only could go for an hour today, guys, because I have to get a video uploading.
Real quick, this will take 10 seconds. Marcus Lieb says 950 is better than a 760. There's no such thing as a 950. All right, go
ahead. Let's see here. Oh, here we go. Okay, so James Prescott, this is just an observation. This doesn't count as a question, but he said carbon nanotubes are the material that they're looking to replace silicon with. They're just very expensive to produce. Now, I've heard of carbon nanotubes. I just didn't know that they were using them for CPU applications.
So is silicon, but we can just hope the price takes less time to come down than like the 30 years it did.
Yep.
You know?
Let's see. Somebody told me I didn't enable hardware acceleration for Java. Okay, well, I'll give that a try. Oh, here we go. Will either of you move to 4K in the foreseeable future? I'm working on it right now, actually. Well, technically, I'm already on 4K if you count my 28-inch overhead.
I'm confused on the question. Are they talking about 4K cameras for our videos or 4K monitors?
Oh, that's a good question. It could go either way, but I'm planning on going both because I want to get a Luminex G4 camera to replace my Canon 5D Mark III. Yeah, because I don't like the 5D. I love the 5D. The video quality on it is phenomenal.
Can I make a suggestion to you?
Yeah, absolutely.
GH4 is terrible in low light. And you are starting to do more stuff outside of your studio.
Yeah.
Might I recommend considering the new Sony AS7R2 Mark II?
God, I hate Sony though. I got that RX 100 M3 and I don't like the
Don't
build quality on.
don't even compare the two.
Okay, wait, what is it? It's a Sony what?
The Sony A7R2.
A7R2.
It's a Mark II. And it,
Oh, there was a guy talking about this. This is a mirrorless, right?
This is brand new, by the way. What you saw that Albert with Tech Syndicate had at PAX was the A7S. This is the A7R2. A7S, what sucked about it was if you wanted to do 4K, you had to get an external 4K recorder. The A7R2 Mark II has internal 4K recorder. And the body is like $3,000.
So that's Canon or 5D Mark III territory for money.
Right. And you can get yourself a speed booster and still use all of your Canon glass.
It's pretty small too.
It's very small. In fact, Hardware Canucks ditched they went to a GH4, but they even ditched their Canon stuff for the mirrorless, for the size.
And does it have uncompressed HDMI out and all that stuff?
It is a professional camera. It should.
I'm gonna look into this because this is awesome. And the other thing I like is that it looks like it's got a swing out screen.
It does.
It arcs down. So okay. No,
it does.
This is cool.
Right now, I'm considering myself moving to the A7R Mark II in the near future for content.
Well, then I have to get it before Jay does. I have to. I
we could be camera buddies. Yay!
we could touch lenses next time you come out.
Oh, yay.
Actually, next time I got to come to you. That's the deal.
That was another thing, too, that Major League Tech just said. The A7 is a full frame while the GH4 is not. A7, I don't remember the sensor size, but I think he's right. I think it is bigger than the GH4. And
so if it is, then the speed booster should... Well, the speed booster will probably mitigate it either way because they designed it for that camera.
It'll be designed for the mirrorless size, the micro four thirds. I think GH4 is micro four thirds. I don't know if the A7R or A7S is micro four thirds, but I can tell you right now, the Sony A7 series, in terms of low light, I had never seen Albert, who's a professional cameraman, does professional camera work, like commercial stuff.
I'm very well aware. I got Albert. He's my friend on Facebook too, so I see stuff he posts.
Albert was having the biggest fucking nerdgasm over the A7S, and this is like 2 steps up from that. And and you could have ambient light only, like you saw at PDX, and there is no noise up to like 32,000 ISO, not 3200 ISO, 32,000 ISO.
Yeah, on a 5D Mark III, you start seeing noise right around 3200. So
I wish I had an A7R Mark II right now for E3, but I don't.
All right, I'm doing it. I'm getting one.
It's worth it. I mean, you'll probably spend about 3,500 to 4,000, but you'll then have professional grade camera that will last you for pretty much any scenario. And the reason why I say it costs that much, if you get the speed booster, which runs about $700, you don't have to switch your lenses.
Yeah, and I don't want to replace my lenses because I got too much money into them. What I'm probably going to do is sell my 5D Mark II and my Mark III body. Between the two of them, I should be able to raise about $4,000, and then I'll just spend that on this.
Yep.
And then done.
Yeah,
done with it.
B&H photo for the win.
Well, I'm poor people now, so I have to actually sell stuff to buy new stuff. I used to be able to just buy stuff, and then when I had the old stuff, would just go in the closet.
You're like, here, Xander, play with the Mark D or Mark III.
Hey, Xander, here's my 5D Mark III. Go take some pictures of Mama. All right, guys, it's 4:36. We're about to wrap this thing up. If you haven't hit that like button down below, please do. It really, really helps. It's a big motivator for us fatties. Well, me, I'm the fatty now. Jay's just like, I don't know. I think he has an eating disorder. But I'm not far behind him. I am far behind him, but I'm trying to eat better so I can be all sexy like Jay.
Oh, sorry.
Pretty soon you'll be able to take it and wrap it around the back of your head.
All right.
All right, so roll that outro.
I can't roll the outro. I'm on OBS.
All right, just do the jazz hands. All right, thank you for watching Tech Talk. This has been a great show. If you guys liked it, hit that like button down below. Please subscribe to Jayz2Cents and Barnacles Nerdgasm over on Twitter at Jayz2Cents and at Barnacles. Hope you had a good time. Hashtag ain't no Nuffle Duffy.
This is hard to do for a long period of time.